The city was draped in darkness as storm clouds gathered, signaling an impending downpour. Thunder rumbled in the distance, accompanied by flashes of lightning that briefly illuminated the somber sky. As the first raindrops began to fall, I sought refuge beneath a worn-out awning, clutching my umbrella in a futile attempt to ward off the inevitable. Despite my efforts, the rain seeped through, leaving me drenched and shivering. Amidst the hustle and bustle of people scurrying for cover, my attention was drawn to a mysterious figure nearby, a woman adorned in a hooded raincoat. Sharing the limited space beneath the awning, I attempted to strike up a conversation. "Quite the storm, huh?" The woman remained silent, her focus fixed on the deluge. Unfazed, I pressed on. "Where are you headed?" Finally, she looked up, offering a faint smile. "Hawkins Street." Her presence intrigued me. The hood obscured her eyes, adding an air of mystery, and her soaked attire accentuated a sense of vulnerability. Glancing at my watch, I suggested, "I live nearby. If you don't mind sharing my umbrella, I can drop you off on the way." After a moment's contemplation, she agreed. "Sure, if it's not too much trouble." Navigating the rain-soaked streets together, the umbrella barely provided enough cover for both of us. A subtle, sweet fragrance surrounded her, and the raindrops created a rhythmic symphony, like the gentle chimes of a distant melody. Attempting to break the ice, I introduced myself. "I'm Stephen." She responded, "Ashley." Our conversation flowed amidst deserted streets, closed shops, and the soothing sound of rain. A connection seemed to form, prompting me to close the physical distance between us. Ashley welcomed the proximity, smiling shyly. Intrigued, I inquired, "Take a right turn soon, and we'll be at my place." As we turned the corner, familiarity struck me. Moonlight Lane. Ashley's excitement grew, and as we approached, my eyes widened. The gate read, "Eclipse Cemetery." Abruptly, Ashley pulled me towards the cemetery. The fog thickened, creating an eerie atmosphere. A supernatural force seemed to guide us. I felt compelled to follow. The fog lifted to reveal a grave, and a chill ran down my spine. The tombstone bore the inscription, "Ashley Johnson, December 17th, 1993, June 22nd, 2016. Before it lay an open pit, emitting a nauseating stench. Memories I had buried deep resurfaced. That fateful night, I had played a part in Ashley's tragic demise in a hit-and-run accident. I had tried to bury the guilt, but tonight, Ashley had returned seeking justice. Her spectral form hovered above the ground, her face marred by a gruesome wound. Accusingly, she spoke, "Stephen, you could have saved me." With a chilling laugh, Ashley condemned me. "Now, it's your turn." I found myself plummeting into the open pit, consumed by the darkness of my own remorse. As I descended, Ashley's laughter echoed, blending with the relentless raindrops. The pit seemed bottomless, and a profound weight settled over me. My surroundings blurred into a surreal dreamscape, haunted by the repercussions of that fateful night. A sudden jolt halted my descent, and I found myself in a dimly lit realm. Ashley stood before me, her spectral figure more vivid than ever. The rain ceased, and an eerie calm enveloped the surreal landscape. "You had a choice, Stephen," Ashley's voice echoed, a mix of sorrow and vengeance. "You let fear guide your actions that night, but redemption is still within reach." I tried to speak, but my words were drowned by the weight of my guilt. Ashley gestured towards a spectral replay of the accident, forcing me to confront the choices I had made. The scene unfolded, and I relived the tragedy with newfound clarity. Ashley's form began to dissipate, merging with the ethereal surroundings. "Your journey has just begun, Stephen. Redemption is a path filled with challenges," she whispered, her voice fading into the echoes of the rain-soaked abyss. The surreal realm dissolved, and I found myself back at the entrance of Eclipse Cemetery. The rain resumed its relentless descent, washing away the remnants of the supernatural encounter. Ashley's presence lingered in the air, a haunting reminder of the consequences of that ill-fated night. With a heavy heart, I trudged away from the cemetery, the weight of my guilt still clinging to every step. The rain continued to fall, a relentless purveyor of remorse as I navigated the darkened streets, forever haunted by the specter of Ashley's tragic fate. The relentless rain created a somber atmosphere as I maneuvered through the labyrinth of dimly lit streets in my Uber. Memories of gruesome discoveries from the summer and doubts about my relationship with Sophia played in my mind. The sprawling city held secrets, and the passenger I was en route to pick up might be entangled in them. The app's automated voice guided me through the city's twists and turns, each intersection cloaked in a mysterious ambience heightened by the downpour. Despite the instinct to cancel, the enigmatic voice of a previous passenger lingered, pushing me forward. A solitary figure awaited under the intermittent glow of a flickering street lamp on a desolate side street. The man's intense gaze and imposing presence sent shivers down my spine as he entered the car. The destination was Horizon Storage, on the outskirts of Riverside Industrial Park. Unease settled in as I traversed the rain-soaked city, contemplating the peculiar nature of this late-night journey. Attempts to engage the passenger in conversation proved challenging until he directed me to pull into a convenience store. His inquiries about partitions and a cryptic warning about his cooler heightened my anxiety. Assuring him that I wouldn't tamper with his belongings, I watched as he entered the store. The temptation to peek into the mysterious cooler intensified as doubts about the potential consequences lingered. Using the fogged-up glass to conceal my actions, I stole a furtive glance at the man inside the store. The secrets hidden within the cooler remained elusive. The weight of the decision to look or not pressed heavily on my mind as the rain continued its haunting melody. The man returned, holding a steaming cup of coffee, his gaze fixed on the wet darkness outside. Silence enveloped the car as we resumed the journey toward Horizon Storage. I cautiously initiated a conversation, attempting to pierce through the veil of secrecy. The man's stern expression softened ever so slightly. "Let's just say it involves some business matters that require discretion," he replied cryptically, his voice a low rumble. Approaching the storage facility on the outskirts, the rain began to subside, unveiling a secluded area shrouded in darkness. The storage facility loomed ahead, surrounded by looming trees and a quiet stillness that added to the overall mystique. Pulling into the Horizon storage lot, the man directed me to a dimly lit corner. "Wait here for a moment," he instructed, disappearing into the night with his mysterious cooler in hand. The minutes ticked by, punctuated by the distant sounds of the city. Eventually, the man returned, his expression unreadable. He handed me the fare in cash, a generous tip accompanying it. "Thank you for your discretion, Derek," he said, his voice carrying a weight of gratitude. As he exited the car and vanished into the shadows, I felt a mixture of relief and lingering curiosity. The rain had ceased, leaving behind a damp, reflective landscape. Watching the Horizon storage facility in the rearview mirror, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had just played a small part in an intricate puzzle, one where the pieces remained scattered and elusive. Driving away from the secluded location, the city's nocturnal mysteries lingered, leaving me with unanswered questions in the quiet aftermath of the storm. The events of that fateful night unfolded against the backdrop of a relentless spring rain, transforming the outskirts of a small town in Montana into a wet, mysterious haven. Nestled on a vast plot of land, my small yet cozy house provided solace from the outside world. Little did I know, the tranquility of my abode would soon be shattered by an unexpected visitor. It was a lazy Friday in 2017, and I found myself immersed in the comforting glow of my TV, the rhythmic raindrops on the roof creating a soothing background symphony. Around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the evening, a knock disrupted the peaceful ambience. Opening the door revealed a stranger, not a familiar face like a mailman, but a young man in his late 20s. He spoke of a camping trip gone awry, seeking refuge from trouble, and my isolated property seemed to be his only hope for shelter. Despite offering assistance, suggesting a phone call for a ride into town, he declined, disappearing into the rainy distance. An uneasy feeling lingered, knowing that a stranger had ventured onto my property without prior notice. The rain continued its relentless dance outside, creating an eerie atmosphere that mirrored the growing sense of unease within. As the night deepened, an orange glow outside caught my attention. Peering through the window, a campfire flickered under the shadow of a large tree in the nearby woods. The mysterious figure stood beside it, obscured by the rain, holding an enigmatic object. The scene was hauntingly surreal, and a sense of foreboding crept in like a phantom in the night. Dialing the police, I reported the stranger outside my house, my voice carrying a mixture of concern and fear. I was aware that help would take time to arrive, and as I checked the window again, the campfire persisted, but the figure had vanished into the night, swallowed by the dark and the downpour. Moments later, the ominous sound of footsteps approached. Rushing to another window, I caught sight of the stranger walking past, a hunting rifle gripped firmly. He reached my front door, and each knock reverberated through the house, growing more menacing with every strike. Fueled by fear, I retrieved my self-defense handgun, positioning myself behind a wall, my heart pounding in rhythm with the rain outside. As the rifle's stock collided with the door, threatening to breach its panels, I fired a shot toward the edge of the doorframe. The deafening blast echoed, drowning out the rain. When my hearing returned, an eerie silence blanketed the night. No footsteps, no banging, no yelling. The weight of the unknown pressed heavily on my shoulders as I grappled with the surreal nature of the situation. Summoning courage, I cautiously approached the peephole. An empty porch greeted me, with only clear footprints leading away into the darkness. The stranger had vanished into the night, leaving behind a trail of questions and an unsettled feeling that lingered like a ghost in the corners of my mind. A subsequent police search unearthed a buried duffel bag near the campfire site, containing evidence of a malevolent plan, a burglary or murder kit meticulously planted in advance. The realization that I had narrowly escaped a sinister fate sent shivers down my spine, and the solitude of my Montana abode now carried the weight of an unsettling past. 4 years later, the identity of the assailant remains elusive, and his motives remain shrouded in mystery. Living in the same house, I grapple with the persistent fear that he might return, an ever-present specter haunting the corners of my daily life. The rain, once a source of comfort, now serves as a constant reminder of that fateful night, each drop echoing the chilling uncertainty that lingers in the air.